ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਭਰੀ ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਭਾਵਨਾ ਫਰਮ CAAN ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟਰ ਆਫ ਦ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ। ਅੱਜ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਬਾਰੇ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਦਊਂਗੀ। ਇਸ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਸ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਜਾਣੂ ਕਰਾਉਂਗੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਰੀਸੈਂਟਲੀ ਔਨ ਬੋਰਡ ਆਈ ਹੈ। There is a body called ARI which gives you new updates about Australian new rules about student visa and about other updates that are very important related to visa. ARI the new webinar de which there are few things that they have basically clear. ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। The most important thing ਜਿਹੜੀ ARI ਨੇ ਕਹੀ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿ ਬੱਚੇ ਅਕਸਰ ਮਿਸ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਜੇ ਖੁਦ ਐਪਲੀਕੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਲਾਂਚ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਜਾਂ ਏਜੰਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। So firstly you have to make sure that all the documents that you give, they have to be complete documents. Okay, application should be complete, signed by you and declared that all the information given above is correct and best of your knowledge. कोई भी fake information which नहीं दिती जानी चाहिए, कोई भी चीज hide नहीं की जानी चाहिए। I give you an example. For example, if you have applied in 2014 or 15 for a visa for Canada and it's been refused and you have not declared in that application, that can result to a refusal for you. So ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨੂੰ focus ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ webinar ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ all your refusals, all your approvals of different countries, refusals of different countries has to be declared and make sure you declare it. बहुत सारे बच्चे अक्सर हाइड कर लेते हैं so that they feel, oh well, if we declare it that might create a difficulty to get the visa granted Australia ਦਾ। ਪਰ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਕਹੂੰਗੀ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਬੱਚੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ as an agent give us all the information which is correct, and if they are lodging their applications themselves, they should do it correctly as well and provide all the information which is right and ethical as well. So based on this is very important. जितने भी documents are that day, such as overseas healthcare, your educational documents, your passport, your funds, everything should be loaded at the same time while you're lodging an application. If you're not providing agent the documents to load at the same time and you're asking agent to lodge the file, the refusal will come on your shoulders. And if you're doing your files yourself, the refusal comes on your shoulders. एक tips मैं वो देना चाहनी हूँ जो webinar दे विच मिले। They are very important tips because March दे विच बहुत सारे बच्चों दे visas expire हो रहे ने, जोड़े onshore ने, and बहुत सारे बच्चे इस time offshore applications launch कर रहे ने। So make sure you give every information to your agent so that they can launch a decision ready application. This is called a decision ready application where all the documents are loaded and the visa officer doesn't have to ask for any documents. Okay. Is to bad medicals. Few areas they're facing difficulties of medicals. I would suggest people to do medical beforehand at the time of lodgement of the application. Student visa with medical एक बहुत important contribution है. Actually in Australia in any visas, medical is a very important contribution. So make sure you do your medical beforehand before lodging the visa and load it with the application as well. So load those documents as well. So if पिछले 12 महीनों ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ medical नहीं ਕੀਤਾ, medical ਨੂੰ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ load ਕਰਨਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਵਧੀਆ ਰਹੂਗਾ। Okay. ਆਪਾਂ ਐਪਲੀਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਫਾਰਮ ਬਾਰੇ ਕੁਝ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹਾਂਗੇ। ਐਪਲੀਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਫਾਰਮ ਬਾਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਾਣੂ ਕਰਾਈਆਂ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਚਾਹੂੰਗੀ। ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪਾਸਪੋਰਟ, you have to update your passport. It should be certified. Certified means ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ notarized ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ foreign country ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ such as Australia ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ, it should be certified from Justice of Peace and other bodies ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ acceptable ਨੇ to certify your documents. As I declared again as well, I would like to say any refusals of your family members if they have been deported as well needs to be mentioned in the first. So je tada husband hai te tusi main applicant ho, being a wife, you should declare your husband's refusals as well. Je tanu spouse visa de vich join kar rahe, make sure you declare your dependents refusals as well along with the approvals, because the responsibility comes on the main applicant's shoulder. ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਵੀ ਇਸ ਕੰਸੀਡਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਰਿਫਿਊਜ਼ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਡਿਪੈਂਡੈਂਟ ਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹਾਈਡ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ very important and immigration is cutting down on it on a very high level. Now ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹਾਂਗੇ ਐਪਲੀਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ। ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਡਾਊਟਸ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਨ, ਬੱਚੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਗਲਤੀਆਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਖੁਦ ਐਪਲੀਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਲਾਂਚ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ। ਕਿ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਟੇਰੀਆ ਆਫ ਦ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਹੈ application needs to be a valid application. So for being a valid application, ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ funded ਹੋ ਜਾਂ sponsored ਹੋ by a business or by government, you have to clearly mention yes there at the application to make sure that you're funded. ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹਾਂਗੇ to documents or not to provide documents. ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ assessment level 2 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਣ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਲੋਕ ਅਕਸਰ ਇਹ ਵੀਡੀਓਜ਼ ਆਉਂਦੀਆਂ ਪਈਆਂ ਨੇ you see newspaper ads stating no funds required, no IELTS required. Well, I would say here to them, those people, especially hitting to those clients, or in other words students, that make sure you do not get into trap in such ads, because funds required nahi hai streamline de which funds are not required at the time of the lodgement, but that doesn't mean that the funds are not required. Funds the load है visa officer ਦੇ ਕੋਲ discretionary powers है, visa officer कदी भी वो funds मांग सकता है, and AD ਦੇ webinar ਦੇ which they have clearly mentioned it. The applicant still needs to meet those requirements, because ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ form ਭਰਨਾ ਹੈ student visa ਦਾ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ mention ਕਰਨਾ how much funds is basically you have for supporting yourself to study in Australia and to live in Australia. ਤੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਦਾ ਬੈਕਅਪ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਆਇਆ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਬੈਕਅਪ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, that means you're giving a wrong information in your form, and if you're giving a wrong information, immigration officer and visa officer, in other words, have all rights to refuse your application on the grounds of giving a fake information, and information which is not correct and best of your knowledge. So it is a very important question there, financial aspect, and you answer those financial aspects ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ application lodge ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ, so make sure you have your funds ready as well. Though it's not going to go to the department, but still you need to have it, okay? Documents may be requested by the department on their own consideration. Documentation. We suggest financial capacity, the documents. If you don't want to load it, just to make it better, financial matrix. So load a financial matrix. That makes things a lot easier. So for example, if you have State Bank of Chala for certain funds, you have HDFC certain funds, ICICI or Standard Chartered, different banks, you have different funds. Make a financial matrix, provide it to the department officer so that he can decide what is going to be, how much funds altogether you have, and the sources of those funds as well. Mention your name of the person whose basically funds are under the name, your relationship to the person, the funds, the bank, and the total and the date from the venue from which it is, and also mention the account numbers. And if you can provide phone numbers and address of the branches as well, that will be an additional help for the visa officer. Clear computerized statements instead of bank passbook. So the statements should be, if you're attaching a bank statement or a certificate, it should be clear, very, very clear. The PDFs, the documents should be, all documents should be in PDF, and they should be very clear. Assi documents de naal gal karange evidence of funds di. J, for example, evidence of funds la rahe ho, evidence of personal income la rahe ho, parents di $60,000, then you have to have $60,000 per annum of an income. Je tusi evidence la rahe ho 12 months living cost de utte base karke, te assi ye cheez nu pad ke sunawangi main. Evidence of funds to cover travel to Australia, living cost for the student and accompanying family member. ਉਹ change ਹੋ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ 1st of February ਤੋਂ ਮੈਂ last video ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੰਸੀਡਰ ਕਰਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅੱਗੇ ਚਲਾਂਗੇ 7,100 for dependent applicant and 3,040 for the child under the age of 18. So ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ count ਕਰਨਾ for the student it's 20,290. These are published from 1st of February 2018. They are going to be the new funds requirement. Documentation. If for example your funds are new, then it should be money deposit with a financial institution. Financial institution should be accepted one. Government loans, scholarships, loans, standard, everything is standard. You have a list which you can go on and check. It's AHC, so you can go there and check it. You can also do this by the agent who's basically helping you to do your application lodgement. They can basically check that for you as well. Now documentations, you need to support your application, access to the funds. You need Provident, so for example, if it's a Provident fund, you need a letter stating that you can withdraw this Provident fund. If it's income evidence, you need to support by taxation letter. If it's basically any documents, you need to have the source of those documents. But the most important thing was documentation, disbursement of those documentation, disbursement of those loans, and disbursement of any funds which is basically you're showing that you can use for your studies needs to be mentioned, okay? मैं एक और गल करना चाहूंगी documentations ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਗਲਤ information ਭਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ. Make sure there is no errors. Spelling errors are highly create confusions, because one alphabet here and there can make a lot difference to your files. So make sure that your files ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ errors ਨਾ ਹੋਣ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਦੋਂ information ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹੋ everything is correct. Again मैं करना चाहूंगी IELTS ਬਾਰੇ ਹੁਣ ਮੇਨ ਟੌਪਿਕ। ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਬੱਚੇ IELTS ਨੂੰ ਕੰਸੀਡਰ ਕਰਕੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ IELTS ਨਾ ਦੇਣਾ ਪਵੇ, ਇਸ ਲਈ they want to focus on it. I will tell the students IELTS is not mandatory under certain colleges where there is assessment level 2, but again you should give your IELTS, and your IELTS scores should be minimum of 5.5 score. and no score less than 4.5. I recommend that. If it is 4.5, it's a 20 weeks aliquots that you have to undergo. It's a lot of money that you're going to waste for basically learning what you actually can learn sitting in India with a better teachers, better exposure to yourself at the stage, rather than spending that money overseas. And living in Australia, if you don't understand English standards, how would you communicate in Australia? So मैं कहूँगी उन्हें बच्चों ने जिन्होंने 4.5 band and don't approach, 5 band don't approach, try to get at least 5.5 bands minimum, and then minimum test score should be 5.5 band, and try not to get any score less than 5. At least you should have enough of well conversable English ताकि तुसी इत्थे आके कोई भी problems face ना करो. GT requirements बारे गल करना चाहूँगी जेडी की webinar दे विच discuss हुई. Minimum include a statement of purpose. You need to have a very clear vision of what you're going to do. ताडे goals किधर नू जा रहे ने, ताडा focus की है, तुसी पढ़ाई करन तो बाद किधर नू जाना चाहोगे. Rule of thumb is basically, the main thing is statement of purpose needs to explain all your aspects, which is very, very important. Okay. Submission. जो तो तुसी GT requirement दी submission कर दो, तानू की cover करना. All your educational studies that you have done in the past and what are you going to do now. You have to have a clear link between both of them, and also an explanation कि तुसी की करना. इस तो बाद your reasons, if you're planning to change studies down the line, or you have changed the studies, तुसी zone change कर रहे हो, तुसी onshore student हो, तुसी studies change की थी, you need to explain why you have changed. You're offshore student हो, from IT you want to go into telecommunication, you need to have a reason why you want to do it. What does it basically signifies is that you have a very clear state of mind, very focused state of mind to explain that. So इस चीज़ ਨੂੰ बहुत important लेके चलेंगे. Your brief history and relevancy about who you are, what your parents are, and your reasons to come back to the home country. बहुत clearly mention होने चाहिए. There are no academic requirements for visa purpose, for value of the course and things, but this is very, very important on the grounds of genuine temporary entrance. And this is a ground which is very, very well, I would say, has a lot of information, so we cannot just versify it. Okay. Documentations, if you have a child, get all the documents ready for your child as well, if he's dependent and is joining you, for your spouse as well. Welfare arrangements, if you have any issues in your relationship and you are the only one who's going to bring your child, make sure you have a permission from the court, and you have 100% custody of the child to come bring the child along with you. बहुत सारे issues ने जिन्हां दे विच Australian High Commission has to stop the kids not to join the mother or the father if you don't have 100% custody, and it should be very vastly explained. ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ spouse the health cover, you should have a spouse health cover, your own health covers, and they all should be explained in a well manner. Lodgement time ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ. Give at least 6 weeks before commencement. So that means you should lodge your applications at least 2.5 months to 3 months before your visa expiry if you're onshore student. If you're offshore student, before the start of your course. At least 2.5 months ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ application ਨੂੰ prepare lodge ਕਰੋ. What they say is basically 6 weeks to 8 weeks time, but if I would say here, that's in the webinar, but I would suggest people to do at least 10 weeks prior to the start of the course, so that you get enough of room to even do your shopping when you get granted a visa. Apart from that, 75 to 95% of applications are finalized on a monthly basis. Subsequent entrants are currently taking longer, so dependent their files are taking a little bit longer than what they should. About this, well, मैं questions answer करना चाहूँगी. कुछ questions while I was planning to do this video, I had few students also send me an emails. Few students asked me a question about when can they lodge again their files if it's refused. Okay, very important question. A webinar ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ. You can lodge your file straight away. There's no strict guidance under when you can lodge your file, as long as you're not barred by a condition called PIC 4020, where there is a bar on you to lodge an application. You can lodge your application if you're refused straight away, but make sure lodgement should have ethics, should have strong reasons to support that why your file was refused and why today you want to lodge it again. ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਬਹੁਤ strong reasons ਹੋਣੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਫਾਈਲ ਕਿਉਂ lodge ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ, and ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ reasons ਕਰਕੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਫਾਈਲ refuse ਹੋਈ ਸੀ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਸ criteria ਨੂੰ ਅੱਜ satisfy ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਦੇ ਹਾਲਾਤ ਕਦੀ ਵੀ change ਹੋ ਸਕਦੇ, ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਫਾਈਲ ਨੂੰ ਕਦੀ ਵੀ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਲਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ. Till now, Australian High Commission is very good with this. They give you freedom to lodge your file anytime later as well. Refusals rate for wet sector higher than higher education. The reason why that is, basically, if you look at a bigger scenario, temporary visas, more, the reason why, you know, the veg sector files have much higher refusal rates is, मैं कहना चाहूँगी बहुत सारे बच्चे ने जो अक्सर bachelor degree करके veg sector वालों जा रहे हैं. Reasons, they know themselves what their goals are, what they, and if they are guided or misguided by agents or by their friends, family members, or anybody, those who are in Australia and they're telling them to do this. I will tell them, look at your studies, look at what your goals are, look at what your aim is. I don't say if you are bachelor, don't enroll in diploma. I don't say if you're bachelor's, enroll only in masters. I don't say if you're masters, you can't go back to do a graduate diploma. It's not like that. You can, but your reasons, you have to have enough of reasons to explain why you're changing your mode of study. Yes, there should be a linkage between your study. But yes, human beings change their interest. We all change our interest. But interest to explain karna visa officer, that's your job. And that you can explain very well in your statement of purpose and genuine temporary entrant letter that you support with every visa application you lodge. ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਮੈਂ ਅੱਜ ਲਈ ਵਿਦਾ ਲੈਣਾ ਚਾਹਾਂਗੀ. ਇਹ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਤੇ ਨਾਲ next information from every webinar if you get, which is a new updates, मैं ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਹੋਵਾਂਗੀ. ਬਟ ਮੈਂ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਆਪਣੀ ਐਪਲੀਕੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਲੌਂਚ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਔਨਸ਼ੋਰ ਜਾਂ ਆਫਸ਼ੋਰ, ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਮੇਕ ਸ਼ੋਰ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਨੂੰ ਗਾਈਡਲਾਈਨਸ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਅੱਗੇ lodge current so that they don't find any errors in the past. All the documents should be ready before you lodge your files, and do your maths before at least 10 weeks before expiry of the lodgement. बहुत सारे बच्चे अक्सर last minute पे आके ask us to lodge applications. I'll not suggest those kids to do that mistake, because it's very, very important for students to make sure that they have enough documents, they have documents organized enough for to lodge their application. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ career ਦੇ ਨਾਲ बहुत ज़्यादा particular रह के चलो ताकि ताड़ी लाइफ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ बहुत ਵਧੀਆ ਜੋ ਡ੍ਰੀਮ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫੁੱਲਫਿਲ ਕਰ ਸਕੋ. ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਮੈਂ ਅੱਜ ਲਈ ਵਿਦਾ ਲਵਾਂਗੀ. ਨੈਕਸਟ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਛੇਤੀ ਮਿਲਾਂਗੀ. ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਭਰੀ ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ 9216310310. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਸਟ੍ਰੇਲੀਅਨ ਨੰਬਰਸ ਤੇ ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਜੋ ਫਲੈਸ਼ਿੰਗ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਸਕਰੀਨ ਤੇ. ਮੈਨੂੰ ਈਮੇਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ canworldvisa@gmail.com ਤੇ. ਮੇਰੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਿਆਰ ਭਰੀ ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ. ਜਲਦੀ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ.